Hey guys, it's Jesse, and in this video we're going to be checking out the new 5x5 from X-Man Design. This is the Hong 5x5. So I'm really excited about this because we basically were just talking about how much we want new 5x5 hardware and just new big cube hardware in general. So I'm really excited for this. Let's jump right into it. First, taking a quick look at the box, I really like this kind of light white and green color palette they're going for. This is basically just exactly like the GAN 14 box with the pull-out tab here, and it opens like this. You go ahead and take the cube out and the accessories. So you get this nice card. Oh my god, it's Jim. We were also just talking about how we want to see more of Jim. And here he is. It looks like Chi is just reading our minds. That's really cool. Good to know. I like this little branded accessories box too. Very nice. We just get a little screwdriver and a little microfiber, which is a really nice touch. All right, so Jim can hang out right there. So here we go. This is the X-Man Hong, and I really like this logo. I think it just looks great on a 5x5. It's also UV coated, which is really nice. So yeah, just picking up the cube, holding the cube, it feels really premium. It feels really nice. So let's go ahead and do some turns. Okay, those outer layers are really nice. So I have done some solves on this, so it's not my first time turning the cube. When I first turned the cube that it immediately reminded me of was the MGC. It's got kind of this like bubbly feeling. And especially on the inner layer turns, there's this crunch in the turn that reminded me of the MGC. The outer layers are really smooth. They're a lot more like swishy, but I think generally it has a pretty consistent feel. It's not trying to be like a super buttery, silky, smooth cube. It's just kind of a crunchy cube, but I really like the way it turns. We can try some corner cutting here. It corner cuts really well. So basically every cut I'm trying here, I'm putting like almost no effort behind it, and it's just cutting right through it. We can try some reverse stuff too, because that can be a huge cause of 5x5 lockups. It's not quite as good, which is kind of to be expected, but it still feels all right. The speed is also really good. The layers feel really light, so the cube just feels nice and fast to turn. I solved with this a bit earlier. I'd say I did about 15-20 solves or so in a row, and you know, absolutely no fatigue. My fingers feel totally fine. Usually after 20 5x5 solves, I'll start feeling like I want to take a break. With this, it was no problem at all, so that's good. My main problem with the cube right now is that it just feels a little dry. It feels a little snappy. Pretty much my favorite lube right now is FC Calm, so I've just been using this in everything, and I haven't really had a case yet where it hasn't worked really well. So I'm just gonna drop a little bit in here. That was 3 drops. I'm just gonna try and get it in between as many pieces as I can. Kind of try and work it in those inner layers there. Okay, the outers are still feeling real swishy, so I want to get a little more lube in those outer layers. And also, I think I can be a little more generous with the outer layer lube, just because they are faster, so I can let them slow down a little more. Then I don't really want to slow down the inners at all. Okay, so that's actually feeling really nice. Okay, so I am also kind of curious to look at the mech. Now the cube is really well built, so I haven't experienced any pops or corner twists or anything like that, which is not something I can say about my main Dian 5. That one corner twists actually fairly often. This cube is really fast and feels like loose. It doesn't feel tight or snappy, but the pieces are like, oh man, they're like impossible to get out of here. So I just want to take a look at a corner here. Oh wow, okay. I haven't really looked at the marketing materials for this, so I don't know if this was talked about very much, but this has a ball core. This is surely the first factory made 5x5 with a magnetic core. I don't know if it's a ball core necessarily. Okay, yeah. So yeah, it is a ball core, it looks like, and it looks like it's red. Wow, okay. So that's probably why the outer layers feel so good. Just because it feels like there's a really strong magnetic force in the outers that just keeps everything together. I'm guessing that's just the core magnets, like really increasing that magnetic force on the outers. So that's good to know. I'm glad I opened it up and learned about that. Just looking at the other pieces here, it looks really simple, really blocky kind of design actually. But I mean, it works really well. We've just got some basic kind of lines here on the edge. Just very stubby, blocky centerpiece here. There's basically no stock here. It just goes straight from piece to base. There's almost nothing connecting these two, which is actually really good because it makes this piece really strong. So yeah, it looks like a really solid mech. I'm gonna hope that I put this corner in right. I should have paid attention to it, but whatever. All right, so I'm gonna throw up a solve or two of this cube and talk about what I think of it after lubing it. And I also kind of just want to talk about the 5x5 meta a little bit. So let's get into it. All right, so now that I've been able to break the cube in a little more with some lube, I gotta say, I mean, this cube is just awesome. It's just really, really fast, really smooth, really stable. It doesn't pop, it doesn't corner twist. There is a little bit of stiffness I've noticed, especially in the second layer turns, where those are a little more susceptible to locking. The outer layers, though, are some of the best outer layers on a big cube that I've ever tried. They are really, really nice. And those core magnets are done really well. They're really subtle. You don't really notice it too much, like during the actual turn, but I feel like I can just really speed up my TPS during 3x3 stage a lot more with this cube than I can with basically any other 5x5. Everything just stays together and feels so tight. And yet the cube is still just really, really fast and just very, very light layers. Like, it just feels really easy to move. So do I think that this cube is actually good enough to get the top level 5x5 solvers and just general Valk users to want to switch to a different cube? And basically, I think that this one has a much better shot than the Dian 5x5 did at getting people to switch. So the Dian 5 I also highly recommended and have mained basically since it came out, but I do recognize that it's kind of for like a niche turning style. It's really locky, so you have to have really light turning. So for, I think, most people that just kind of turn them off, they didn't really like it. This cube though, I really like this. This kind of feels like a Tornado V3 for 5x5s or something like that. And I think the GAN 5x5 is basically going to be the GAN 12 or whatever. Like, I think that will ultimately be the more popular cube that seems flashier, and I imagine that more people will switch to it. But then this cube will just be here. It'll be really good. It'll probably be half the price. Now, the biggest unknown about this cube right now is the price. That's what I don't know the price of this cube yet. I think, especially given how the previous Chi 5x5 was priced, there's no way that this cube is like under $50. Especially now that it also has UV coating and corner core magnets. I feel like this is like baseline $60. That's the cheapest it'll be. $60 wouldn't be bad. I would definitely pay that much for a good 5x5 with new features. This cube is kind of like a complete package to me. I don't really see anything majorly wrong with it. Like, it's just a really solid cube. I highly recommend it. And I just hope that it doesn't get overshadowed by the GAN 5x5, or the GAN 5x5 is just gonna be really, really good, and it's just gonna immediately make this cube irrelevant. That would be really interesting to see. I don't think it'll happen. I think that we are probably going to see some of these X-Men Honk 5x5s in the next major championships. These are really good. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of top cubers start switching. Basically, every solve I've done on this cube has been sub my average, so it's definitely my main. I'm getting pretty crazy times on it. So like I said, I don't know anything about pricing or multiple versions of this cube, what the release of this cube is going to look like, but this video will not be up without there being a pre-order available, so definitely check the description for more information. Anyways, that's about it for this video. Definitely let us know in the comments your thoughts on the 5x5 market, the speed cubing market. If you have this cube, if you plan on getting it, what you think about it. All those kinds of comments are very much welcome and appreciated. Definitely also let us know what you think of this background. We're changing things up a little bit. Still a work in progress, but yeah, just let us know. Anyway, that's about it for this video. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.